So welcome to day 4 of the Become a Fair Parent and Raise Unconditionally Confident Kids Instagram Live Challenge. Today is R of fair in Fair Parent, which is respect and realistic expectations. So I want to start, of course, by commenting, if you could comment below about how yesterday went with being interested in your child. And yes, terrible can be an answer. So if you have a minute, please just throw that into the comments. If you're watching the replay, definitely please add it to the comments as well. How did it go practicing being interested yesterday? All right, beautiful. So today's topic again is respect and realistic expectations. Now maybe some of you are saying, yay, finally someone is going to tell me how to teach my child to be respectful. A true South Asian. But, well, you know what? Yes, that is part of it. It may not be exactly how you expect. But as usual, let's first do our daily Vegas exercise. And today I'm going to be drawing from my South Asian heritage, and we're going to be doing a humming Vegas exercise, but we'll be using the Om sound to activate our vagus nerve. So we're going to do that together, but let me just demonstrate it once for you first. So the idea is to take a full, deep inhale through the nose. And then as you're exhaling, I want you to say the word Om for as long as you can. So really see if you can get it from below, right down from your stomach, all the way as it vibrates up into your chest, into your heart area or your heart chakra, and then up into your throat area. So that's the idea behind it. So let's do that together. We're going to be doing a nice, deep, full breath in through the nose. And say Om for as long as you can. And try and see if you can get that steady. I'm not that steady, but it takes practice. So let's do that again. We're going to do that 2 more times. Om. Beautiful. And one more time together. Deep inhale. And exhaling. Om. Now, as you practice doing that, you'll find you can extend the length of the Om, but in the beginning, it can feel very difficult. So please give yourself, some grace here as you're doing that. Amazing. So respect. It can be so challenging, right, to get our children to be respectful, particularly to us as the parents. I mean, as a parent, haven't I automatically earned the right to be respected? That's how it's always been, and I like that tradition, actually. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but the reason it can be so challenging to get our children to be respectful of us is because we simply expect respect. And we don't practice respecting them. Now, yes, in past generations, respect was demanded. I get that. And usually through some form of fear parenting or, again, just an expectation. And children obeyed. But is that how we want to be respected? I'm sure some of you are saying, sure, why not? But let me explain why receiving respect through fearful obedience or just because we're telling them to actually doesn't bring respect. It brings fear and closes the door to a connected relationship with our kids. And without a connected relationship, it's very hard to help them truly be unconditionally confident. In order for our children to respect us, we have to role model what respect is. Not just with other adults and elders, of course we will with them, but with our children. Now, this is hard to do when our expectations of them are unrealistic, particularly with respect to their personalities and misunderstanding their stage of brain development. So to get a clearer picture, I'm going to share an example or a story with you that's related to personality and having unrealistic expectations with personality. Some of you may have actually heard this story before because it's a very important one to me, but it's worth hearing again, so I will go through it. So this is about my older daughter, Talina, who is now 22 years old, but the story takes place when she was in grade 7. I want you to imagine, it was 2:30 in the afternoon and my last client canceled. And when I looked at the time, I realized I could surprise Talina and pick her up from school. So super excited, I was waiting with a smile on my face, driving to school, and then waiting for her in the lineup, right, to pick up. And so I was looking at the window, I saw kids coming out, so then I jumped out of the car and I started to wave, Talina, I'm here, right? So I look over and Talina's kind of like, she glanced at me, so I know she saw me, but it was just with a blank face. I'm like, okay, well, at least she saw me. So she gets in the car and I say, hi, Talina! And I get nothing. I say, hello, Talina. Nothing. I say with a tone that conveyed that I was disappointed in her, like I said, really? I came out of my way to pick you up and surprise you, and you can't even say hi to me? To my surprise, Talina said, are you serious? You know that I've been at school all day and that I've been putting my hand up and talking, and now I'm so tired. All I want to be is quiet. And if I can't be quiet with you, who am I supposed to be quiet with? Well, I was in shock, both at the fact that she spoke to me so disrespectfully, and I believe because I had been changing the way I parent since she was about 5 years old, another part of me was so proud of her for I'm going to get emotional, for knowing exactly what she was feeling and what she needed from me. So I paused in that car, I accepted her request for quiet, and we drove home. Now, could she have responded to me more respectfully in that moment? Sure. But the truth is, my disappointed tone, it triggered her to feel defensive. And I get that. Hearing disappointment from a parent's tone, it's really, really unnerving for a child. So in that moment in the car, I had to do a lot of work on myself, breathing and sort of having a self-compassionate state and doing a bird's eye view reflection on the fact that, hey, I know she's an introvert and that her gas tank runs out at the end of the day. I let my excitement take over, which was fine, but I forgot who my child was. And I had unrealistic expectations of her until she reminded me. Now, once I respected that, I was back to practicing being a fair parent. She got the rest she needed, and I had a great reminder that parenting is a dynamic, continuous process. So some of you may be saying, but wait, Julia, like you're being too gentle. All you asked for was a hi. That's not too much to ask for. You're simply teaching them to be polite, right? What if she does that in the world? She'll be seen as so rude. So I want you to just rewind for a minute here. She was very specific to say, if I can't be quiet with you, then who can I be quiet with? I was her safe space. She knows she has to be polite and engage with the rest of the world, but I was her safe space. So if you remember from a previous day in this challenge, I talked about Dr. Dan Siegel's 3 attachment conditions for secure attachment, for our children to feel secure attachment to us. And one of those was safety. In this case, it's emotional safety. I, as her mom, need to provide her with that safe space. So let's just take a second and think about how else that could have gone. I could have said, you do not speak to your mother like that. After everything I do for you and then I'm picking you up, you should be more grateful and show me some respect. Now, a child's response to that could have turned into complete silence, resentment, both ways, or a complete yelling match. Depends on your child. Either way, when we don't take the time to get to know our unique child and have realistic expectations of them, we risk a huge disconnect in our relationship. So people often say, what is this new world of having a good relationship with our child? They're not supposed to be our friends. And I'm not asking you to be their friend at all. I'm asking you to respect them as human beings. You might say, but we're the adults. They're the children. They should just listen to us and be respectful of us. We're the experienced ones after all. And yes, while we do have more experience than them, we want to recognize that kids listen to our guidance when they feel connected to us. By demanding respect, we lose connection. By expecting respect, we lose connection. And to be honest, that is when their safety is at greater risk. Because our guidance is experienced as lectures, and here we go again, right? And then they don't take it in. They just zone out. And then they have to go out into the world figuring it out all by themselves, which is not what I want. It's not what we want for our kids. We want them to know we're there. So we focus today on realistic expectations in terms of our child's personality. Now, because this topic is bigger than a 10-minute discussion, I've created a special bonus for you. So click on the link in my bio, in my Instagram bio, that says Guide to Realistic Expectations as a Fair Parent. And what you'll receive is a psychoeducational video on understanding and identifying introversion and extroversion in your family. And because I also know the importance of having realistic expectations of our children based on their developmental stages, you'll also receive a developmental expectations cheat sheet. And that's, of course, going to vary depending on your child, but you can use it as a guide. So when we have realistic expectations of our children, who they are, they feel respected. And then they internalize that. They internalize that they matter. And as we discussed yesterday, a key component in having unconditional confidence is knowing we matter. Okay, so it's time for the challenge. Between now and tomorrow's live, think about your child's natural personality tendency. Do they feel energized by being around others, or do they need alone time, or maybe just with one other person to feel replenished? How about you? So report back tomorrow what you think. And be sure to sign up for the bonus video and cheat sheet because it'll give you a lot of help to figure out what your child is and who you are as well if you're confused about that. All right, now just a quick self-compassion reminder. We are not supposed to know how to do all of this. Parenting is a learned skill. For generations, our parents have been trying to figure it out on their own because there was no other option. So they did the best they could. Thankfully, we don't have to wing it anymore. That also means you're the first generation to actually be taking the time to invest in your children by learning how to parent. So please be kind to yourself. You're amazing for being here and for doing this work. So see you tomorrow for P, which stands for presence with our children, being present with them, not buying presents. Before we go, let's have a quick commitment or a yes in the comments to say, yes, I am committed. Yes, I will look into the personality of my child and think about it for myself and go sign up for the bonus video so that I can get some help with that. Amazing. Thank you, everybody, again for showing up. You're amazing, and I will see you all tomorrow morning at 9:30 again. Take care. Wonderful. Yes, yay. Beautiful. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.